We had the senior day festivities take place just moments ago, and now they're looking to cheer these Spartans on to another win. And as you mentioned, Loyola fans coming all the way from Chicago looking to see if they can get an upset here tonight.
See, right off the bat, the Spartans are in their own defensive zone here.
This is something that Michigan State's very comfortable with, keeping possession of the ball. They're going to make you come get it. They have no issue relying on their defenders to play pass back and forth with this ball until something opens up for Kennedy Bell and the likes of Caleb Briggs, who we just saw her first touch of the game there.
A lot of good defensive work, a lot of it going between Maroney right now and Henning.
Michigan State so comfortable with the ball in possession. Going to make Loyola chase until something gets freed of Kennedy Bell or even Emerson Sargent up front. Loyola has to stay disciplined, as you see the first attempt there.
You can see that ball was launched over the midline by Maroney. A battle for control right now. Over to Watson, Watson to Jans. Back to Watson. Coming up the side. And that will be caught by Deerdorf.
Yeah, those crosses are going to be pretty dangerous for Michigan State as they have great forwards to get on the other side of that, but Allison Deerdorf does stand at 6 feet tall. They're going to have to play it in a little bit higher, a little bit away from her reach, or she'll grab those every time.
You can see back to Henning once again. She's really able to set the tone when the defenders pass it back to her. Up that right side of the field again, and it's to Bell. Jans is battling, and that will go out of bounds.
And an excellent defensive play there from Emily Roberts. As you see, a lot of these Loyola defenders, all of them starting at their third game again. Not the best shot from Caleb Briggs, but it does end up on the foot of Ella Jans. Just excellent slide there by Emily Roberts to clear it out of trouble in the first quarter of the game already for the Spartans.
Looks like that will be Watson taking that corner kick.
A little bit mistimed there as she tried to feed a through ball through to Caleb Briggs to get a little bit of a shorter corner. Just missed time between the two Spartans.
A good attempt there by Beam to try to keep it in for the Ramblers.
Olivia Beam playing heavy minutes for this Loyola team. 90 minutes in the win over Central. 84 minutes in the loss to Iowa. Heavy part of this Loyola defense.
And that was offside, so we'll see Deerdorf send this down the field.
See, something that we almost never see is all 22 players, barring the goalkeepers, are all on the far right side of the field. As resetting will allow them to stretch the field back wide again.
Coming up the right side again. Quickly caught by Deerdorf.
An excellent aggression there from Allison Deerdorf to play high in her box, not allowing that through ball to get to Emerson Sargent, because that could smell danger all day if you let a player of her caliber or even Kennedy Bell's caliber to go ahead and get that free breakaway.
And that kick by Schaefer from Loyola just a little to the left of that goalpost there.
Yeah, and it seemed almost a little bit rushed from the freshman. She was in on goal, could have taken maybe one more touch there. Tries to rush it as the ball connects with the ground and sends it wide. Doesn't really trouble Noelle Henning. Austin Schaefer is only the second freshman on this Loyola team to start a game so far this season. So maybe a bit of nerves got to her on that attempt. Plan on seeing her be a little bit better here.
See, once again, a lot of that passing between Maroney and Watson. Bringing it up the left side now. The Ramblers are able to take some control here. Fighting to keep it in. And unable to do so, it will go out.
That's great pressure there from Kennedy Bell. Dangerous play being made there by Emily Roberts, as if she lost that ball, could very easily have gone the other way in the form of a 2-on-2 with Sargent and Bell. We will see a foul. That'll be a free kick for the Spartans. Take it quickly.
You can see Schaefer applying that pressure there. Back to Henning.
Again, the Spartans so comfortable with their defensemen having possession of the ball until something can get opened up further downfield as you see them begin to up the pace of play here.
Heavy pressure there from the Ramblers on Watson.
Excellent job there from Watson. Great pressure on Chloe Klein, forces her to make an errant pass out of bounds.
Klein up in the air. It's a battle. And it's out once again. Watson sends it back. That was Maroney to Henning. Henning now looking back towards Maroney. A little bit of back and forth here. We've seen a lot of it in the Spartan defensive zone so far. And that will go out once again over there on that left side.
Some miscommunication between Sargent and Bell there will allow Deerdorf to easily pick up the ball. Trying to play a through ball. Kennedy Bell thought she wanted to run back around the other direction. Sargent thought Bell was going to keep on running, and now possession for Loyola.
See a bit of confusion there. Sargent takes control. Up through the center, passes it to Briggs. And it is just high. A good offensive direction there by the Spartans.
Yeah, and that's some pretty classic Spartan weaving there as Kayla Briggs makes a run around Emerson Sargent, receives the through ball, tries to feed it back to Sargent, but it goes all the way through. Luckily, Najera was there to get an attempt on net, just a little too lean back, not enough over the ball, and since that went up and over the net.
Once again, moving up the right side. Ramblers now making moves towards the Spartans' defensive zone.
Kennedy Bell has done an excellent job of winning these balls back, as she used to be a defenseman back when she played at Maryland. Came to MSU and began to play forward. So she's very well equipped to press and get these balls back.
Sargent here going for the ball. Battling with Klein.
It'll be ruled a corner in favor of the Spartans. Again, great defense from Loyola, pressing Emerson Sargent down, using that baseline as a second defender. See Chloe Klein, the midfielder, great challenge to get all ball there and the first go and not give up a penalty on the slide.
See Faith George here setting up. You see the Ramblers now taking control. That will once again be out of bounds.
You see a foul here as just taking down Maggie Schmidt. Almost had it in. I'm surprised we won't see a card, as I believe that's what Loyola was complaining about, not seeing a yellow card. But it will be a free kick nonetheless. Take a look at John Sandoval here in his second season. Head coach of Loyola Chicago, posting that 10-5-6 record with the Ramblers. He's in his 7th total career season as a head coach in college, hoping to see his team take down the Michigan State Spartans for the first time in their history.
These two haven't faced off since 2024. And that is just up and over the net.
It'll be ruled a corner kick, but exactly as you were saying, Maddie, these two teams faced off for the first time since 2024. It'll only be their second time meeting in 15 years. However, the Spartans hold an 8-0-0 record against the Ramblers in those meetings.
That's Catherine Klein setting up to take that corner kick for Michigan State, or not Michigan State, for Loyola Chicago towards the Michigan State goal. Henning catches that ball sent down by Weissman.
Nice corner attempt there from Loyola, just found the head of a Spartan. Some good height back here in the defensive line of Michigan State. Likes of Samantha Maroney, 5'8", Julia Belli, 5'8" as well. Then Noelle Henning rivaling Allison Deerdorf at 6 feet tall, the two tallest on the pitch.
Sent down by Maroney. Ramblers look to take control. Not able to. See McPherson over to Watson. It's Faith George with the ball. Stays in front of the goal. And that will be just outside there.
That's an excellent attempt there from Emerson Sargent. Maybe not enough on the cross from Faith George. Leads her to have to kind of lean into it, but a great job getting between them was Catherine Klein. As they do rule that that went off of Klein, and we will have a corner kick. Just a little bit to the side. Deerdorf didn't have to do too much.
George once again looking to take that corner kick. Once again, that Spartan weaving Briggs over to George. Looking for an opening. Sends it in, and it is caught by Deerdorf.
A little too much curve there on that cross in. Just misses out on Samantha Maroney. But Spartans wanted a penalty as they saw Emerson Sargent get taken down. But I think the ref made the right call there. Saw contact, went to the ground. Not a bad effort.
See Schaefer battling down there with some of the Spartans. Passes it back. And we have a whistle.
As they're going to go ahead and I believe go to VAR here to see if potentially for the pin. like I was mentioning, the Spartans were complaining that Emerson Sargent went down in the box and there was no call. So they will go ahead and take a look. I believe we're being told that the replay is down and that they're not going to be able to take a look here.
What exactly are we looking for here, Jordan?
I believe it's potentially on the goalie coming too far out of the box when she goes to throw this ball. See here, relines back up, tries to get the most out of it, but she looks pretty clearly in the box there. So I'm not too sure what else we could have been looking at. Whether it was the throw going out of the box.
It did look
or
like
the pin. She was pointing down towards the box, so it had to have been something in the box.
it did look like Deerdorf stayed within that box throughout the duration of that throw. Looks like they might be coming to a decision here.
But I am hearing that the referees could not look at any replays on there.
Head coach Hostler looks all right with whatever was called there. So I'm led to assume it looks like this will be an MSU free kick. Actually,
As I believe they'll be doing a drop ball, because again, as I believe I heard that there was no replays for the referees to look at over there. So I guess the ultimate decision will just be to do a drop ball as she did blow the whistle dead in transition.
and it's up in the air. Watson and Klein. Briggs to Watson. Briggs weaving through Ramblers. That'll go out.
An excellent bit of dribbling there by Caleb Briggs. She's so good at staying along in those tight spaces and really creating something out of nothing.
Briggs gaining control and sending it over to Maroney. Maroney over to Belli. Back to Maroney. More passing between the two Spartan defenders. You can see Schaefer coming up, looking to apply some pressure there. Over to Watson. Watson to Jans.
Something that we're not used to seeing there is another turnover from the Spartans from more miscommunication. As I believe they're going to have to talk a little bit more if they really want to get through the final third here.
It looks like that would have been a foul there. Over to close to the goal now. Briggs sends it up into the air, and it is just past.
Yeah, not the best attempt there from Caleb Briggs. Maybe a little bit rushed on sitting there, but we're going to hear from our third member, Michaela Mazza.
Henning, she had 21 starts as a freshman last year, and this year already posting a five-save shutout in the win against Xavier, just 2 below her career high. But what head coach Hostler said he's looking for is for Henning to simplify things in the attack while using her frame to become more of a presence on crosses and in the box. So don't be surprised if you see Henning being a little bit more aggressive and distributing the ball quickly out there today. Maddie Jordan, back to you guys.
Thank you, Michaela. I do believe that we have seen some more of that aggressiveness from Henning. A lot more direction coming from her when they are down in that Spartan defensive zone.
Yeah, and that just shows what Jeff Hosler really expects out of his team here. Noah Henning is such a sound keeper in the back for Michigan State, and he's still continuing to look at her to improve more and more as, again, she is only a sophomore, believe it or not, but already has that composure that you would see in an upperclassman.
And a little bit of a collision there between Watson and Catherine Klein. Sorry, Chloe Klein. And that ball will go out into the bleachers, actually.
Yeah, it's a no-nonsense clearance there from Samantha Maroney. Something that you're always taught. When the ball is in the box, don't be afraid to just send it to anywhere. She sends that one up into the stands.
Did appear that some of the Red Cedar Rowdies made their way down for this. See here, waiting for the ball to come back in. Briggs coming up the side with it. Sends it up. Bell is putting the burners on to get to it. And that will be sent out by the Ramblers. That was Catherine Klein sending that one out. Watson's gonna throw it back in.
Let's take a look at Coach Jeff Hosler here in his 6th season coaching here at Michigan State. He's done an excellent job with this program so far as we see them ranked number 5 in the nation. They went all the way to the quarterfinals in that NCAA tournament last year and looking to make it even further past that this year. And he expects a lot of these players, as we just heard from Michaela. Noah Henning, one of the best keepers in the Big Ten, and he still expects her to develop even more. Runs a tight ship here at Michigan State.
Maroney and Belli passing back and forth. You did see Henning pretty far out of the box there. Gets through some of the players down there. Controls were gained and lost once again by the Spartans. Schaefer over there, and it will go out.
That's a great challenge there by Michigan State. Right here you see Maroney getting in and kind of just breaking it up on Addison Schaefer, and Michigan State has done an excellent job so far when they had the ball, but it's just that final bit of composure in the final third that they're lacking right now, and that's why the game still remains 0-0. I haven't really tested Allison Deerdorf too hard, and as we mentioned earlier, she's a goalie that you're going to want to have to test over and over again. Looking to launch this one all the way into the box again.
That is, looks like it was Briggs sending it up. Taken control of by the Ramblers. Good passing here. Intercepted by some Spartan defenses. Battling it out there. And it will go out of bounds on the Ramblers. Thrown back in. Out once again.
State taking these throw-ins pretty quickly, trying to catch Loyola off guard, but they can't see it, they can't, so they'll just go ahead and reset.
Back to Henning, looking for some direction here. Up the side once again. George battling it out with Lonnie. Sends it over. And a little too much power there where Sargent tried to receive it.
It's an excellent opportunity there again by the Spartans. They're really relying on this crossing ability of Faith George. finds Jans in the box and just couldn't really get on the back end of that and sends it wide of the net. But again, if Loyola continues to let these crosses come in, eventually it's not going to turn out well for them, as one good header and the Spartans could find themselves in the driver's seat.
Received by Watson. And it will go out. Roberts coming over to throw it back in for the Ramblers. Down near the corner, fighting to keep it in, but it is sent out on McPherson of the Spartans. Roberts once again setting up to throw back in.
Ramblers have really been using these low-in throw-ins as almost second corners. Obviously some warnings in the battles between the boxes. A lot of shoving going back and forth between the Spartans and the Ramblers.
Roberts throws it in, received. Quickly booted out. Quite the battle right now. You've got Briggs trying to take it up and out of the reaches of Fornelli. But there was a whistle on that play. Roney sets it up over to Watson. See Chloe Klein coming into pressure. Schmidt down there trying to apply that pressure to Belli. Over to Maroney. Schaefer's there once again.
A dangerous touch there from Maroney, almost sent Addison Schaefer on a breakaway. Gotta have to be a little bit more careful back there.
Over to Jans. Jans to Belli. See once again Schmidt coming in to apply that pressure. They're able to move it up. It's in the box once again, George Cross. And it is out once again.
And yet again, another Faith George cross. He goes right here onto the foot of Kennedy Bell, tries to send it back the other way of where Deerdorf is coming from, but just sends that one too high and over the net. And again, that's the lack of defending of Loyola on those crosses. They're gonna have to start marking better when they see the likes of Faith George and Emerson Sargent heading down that far side.
Over to Roberts. Watson regains control, sends it up to Sargent. Many Loyola defenders on her, able to take the ball.
Yeah, one too many hard touches there from Emerson Sargent. We'll see the turnover head the way of Loyola.
Down the line. Launched up in the air. Schaefer fighting for it down there once again. Able to keep it in and regain control are the Spartans. Over to Bell, just short. Roberts is there. Back to Deerdorf. It looks like that will go just out into the Michigan State bench.
Well, it is Michigan State throw in. That was great ball protection there from Mia Lanny to hold off Faith George. Really using her strength.
And there was a whistle there.
And it'll be a foul on Najera, free kick for Loyola.
Deerdorf sends it up. It's received. Over to Bell. Bell puts on the burners once again, past Deerdorf, but lost control. Absolutely insane defense from the Ramblers there.
And oh my goodness, excellent opportunity. Great through ball from Caleb Briggs. Just a little too hard of a touch from Bell. Deerdorf can't quite grab control of it. Goes over to Sargent, and throwing her body in the way is Olivia Beam, acting as that second sweeper keeper. And now we do have a Loyola player down, but as I mentioned earlier, this Loyola team relies heavily on this back line with the likes of Catherine Klein, who's played all 90 minutes in both games, Abby Sudkamp, who's played all 90 minutes in both games, Emily Roberts, their captain, who was injured last season just 10 games in, comes back and is now a big moment here, but Najira tries to throw her body up and knocks down, I believe that's Joshua Wiseman. We'll see the first sub of the game as Mary Finelli is going to come off.
We do see Weissman get up there. That's always good.
See, I believe that's Ava Fleming coming on now.
Getting some fresh faces into the mix now, with just over 17 to go in this first half. See Deerdorf setting up here. Right now we can see Hostler seems to be having a pretty serious conversation right there.
Yeah, I believe that's Mackenzie Rogers potentially getting her to, preparing her to come in the game.
You can see very expressive there too. Sent very far down by Deerdorf, but received back by Spartan. Booted out of the zone. There will be a whistle.
Najira will take a tumble down there, and it'll be a free kick for the Spartans as that foul will go the way of Lydia Case.
And Rogers will come in. You were right about that there, Jordan. Fresh off of some game talk there with Hostler that we were able to see. Seems to be spreading the message to her fellow Spartans.
Yeah, the Illinois native freshman played 28 games off the bench in the first game. She was a 4-star prospect and was ranked as the #1 player in the Midwest, 65th player ranked overall. So expect her to get more and more game time as the season moves on, despite having such a loaded midfield as the Spartan team does.
These three back here, Maroney, Bella, and Henning, have made quite the defensive trio. Lots of that direction coming from Henning. Bella sends it up. It's like Sargent there fighting for it. George comes in, sends it over, and it is up. See Watson there. Fighting to keep it in, the Spartans are. Lots of pressure there from the Ramblers. Sending it back to the midline, but it is kept in. Schaefer has the ball. Running with it over. Keeping it in, Roberts. Down by the corner, running to retrieve it. It's Briggs on out. That will go in favor of the Ramblers. Roberts is there, setting up to throw it in once again.
You see the other way as Renee Watson had a great opportunity to have a go through, and Catherine Krein got the block and was able to send Loyola the other way, but a great job on the other side by the Spartans to shut that down.
A fight to get it out of the Spartan half here. Ramblers move in. There will be another whistle.
And they're gonna head to video review yet again on this one. We're gonna be going back and seeing if there was a handball at all back down the other way. And this will give both coaches a little bit of time to coach up their players a little bit more. You see Jeff Hostler on his team, but excellent opportunities at both ends for the Spartans and Loyola. And they're going to knock two birds out with one stone here as they'll go ahead and look to see if that was a handball on the other end and give the mandatory hydration break for both teams. Michigan State yet again looking threatening down in that final third, but they're just missing that last final touch that they see. As we saw, Caleb Briggs had a great opportunity, but couldn't get quite the strike on the ball that she was looking for. Granted, it was a difficult volley that she was trying to convert on, but able to keep it down there, and the Ramblers throwing their bodies in the way, continuing to block shots. And as I was used to told, block shots wins games, and we almost saw that heading back the other way as Loyola sprung a 2-on-2, but Michigan State was excellent defensively in transition.
We've seen quite the defense from both teams. Looks like this is where they're looking for that handball.
Right there, I believe, on that final kick from Mia Lanny. Kicks it right up towards Ella Jans, and I think they were looking to see if that got her in the hand, and even if it does, the hand would have to be in an unnatural position, so it looked like she had her hands up close to her chest, and if it hit her hands there, it wouldn't be ruled a handball, as we see her wave it off as no handball on the play. And I believe that's going to be the right call here from referee Nicole Green.
Setting up to resume play.
She'll drop the ball here at Bella Najero's feet.
Fleming is here to apply some pressure. And Duradorf will stop that. Bringing it up towards the edge of the box. And it is up and over that midline. Rogers with the ball here. See Roberts there, and it goes just out.
Emily Roberts has been all over the pitch for Loyola, defensively and offensively with her throw-ins. Obviously a massive asset now that she's back from injury.
That ball up to Rogers from Watson, over to Sargent. Heavy pressure there by Roberts.
Yeah, not a bad challenge there from Emily Roberts, just a little bit late, and that's going to be foul all day. She's going to get clean off the leg here of Sargent. You see right there a little bit of foul, knee on knee there. Yeah, it just comes in late for the challenge. Great call there from Nicole Green.
Setting up here to take the kick.
Michigan State with two options over there at the ball. I believe Faith George is one of them.
George sends it over, and it will go out. Deerdorf takes the ball, sets it up, boots it down. A fight for control there. Over to Rogers. Rogers weaving up through the middle. Looks like Jans. Heavy pressure there. Up into the air and caught by Deerdorf.
Another cross in from Faith George, but not enough on the header on the wrong spot of her head. As you see, Allison Deerdorf had the 7th best save percentage in their conference.
And that's Schaefer with it down. Nearing the corner. Sends it over, and it is kicked out. Over to Klein. Up in the air. See a maneuver there by Spartan to keep it from getting into the hands of Fleming and Lanny.
That's a great job from Faith George coming back and making that defensive play. She tries to make one more by clearing it out the far side over by the Loyola bench, trying to avoid the corner, but wasn't quite quick enough to get there. As we take a look at Mackenzie Rogers here, who's already kind of making a bit of an impact coming into this game already. I see her an excellent dribbler so far. Almost had an excellent through ball.
Caught by Henning there. Able to keep it cool under all of that pressure.
Yeah, similar to Allison Deerdorf, Noelle Kenning stands at 6 feet tall, so gonna have to make sure that your corners go away from her and your crosses go away from her. Otherwise, she's gonna be able to use that wide wingspan to go up and get that ball.
See more of this defensive passing back and forth here. Really looking to direct the game. Watson up to Sargent. Sargent over to Briggs. Kicked out by a Rambler. Received once again by the Spartan defense. Najira sends it up, tries to get it to Bell. Faith George once again, heavy pressure by the Ramblers. Looking to send it back. Najira to Henning.
You can really see how the Spartans continue to try and get this ball funneled down onto the right side midfielder, Faith George, and really trying to pressure these crosses into the box, as I think they have a good thing going here as you see them setting it up again.
See more of that heavy pressure by Lanny over there in that side of the field. George setting up.
Faith George, formerly a USC transfer, becoming a big part of this team.
Battle in the corner, and it goes back out. They will say it went out on Loyola. Over to Najira.
Missed touch there by Faith George. It'll be a throw in the way of Loyola. And again, that final touch in the final third to get a good through ball in is still lacking for the Spartans, as Loyola is still managing to keep this a 0-0 game.
See Rossi in there, applying more pressure. There will be a whistle on that. Possession taken by the Ramblers. It appears.
It'll be a foul on Grace Jackson, the newest Spartan to enter in the game.
Moving down, close towards the Spartan goal, caught by Henning. See, Kruer is in over on that side. Weaving through Ramblers here. Back to Najira, back to Kruer. Back to Henning. Belli sends it back to Henning. Henning back to Belli. Moving up the side, over to Watson. Heavy pressure from Roberts.
A nice play there from Emily Roberts. Good challenge, as we saw just a moment ago on that scoreboard. MSU leading the way with 8 shots to Loyola's only 2.
And it bounces off of a Rambler there. Back to Henning.
While Michigan State leads the way with 8 shots to Loyola's 2, both teams are tied with 1 shot on goal apiece, meaning that Michigan State is going to have to be more focused in on getting these shots on target and really pressuring Allison Deerdorf. But we see a plethora of subs come in for Michigan State. I believe all 4 starting defensemen for the Spartans, except for Julia Belli, are now off the pitch, getting a rest.
Over to Belli. Looking for somewhere to send it. Passes it back. Sent up. Heavy pressure. 2 Ramblers on 1 Spartan. There will be a whistle there.
A ruled a foul on the Ramblers. Too much pushing and grabbing in that double team to win the ball. Give Spartan free kick.
Back to Belli. Once again. Back to Henning. Up to Belli. Sends it up to Petrowski. Rogers is there. It stays in. And it will be sent out by Roberts of the Ramblers. Belli in control of it once again. Over to Petrowski. Over to Briggs, battling it out with Roberts. Gets free. Looking for somewhere to send it. Sends it back to Belli. She sends it across to Kruer. Kruer sends it up. And it will go out.
Another nice challenge there from Mia Lanny, as she's able to send that ball all the way out of bounds, as Ava Lucky took a little too long to get that cross into the box. But with no Faith George to take this corner, it looks like it'll be the freshman Mackenzie Rogers to step up in her place.
Over near the goal, caught by Deerdorf. Putting that wingspan to use, just like Henning.
A little bit of an under-hit corner there from Rogers, but expect to see a little bit better come around the next time.
Rogers over to Briggs. Briggs battling it up. Looking to send it somewhere. Up towards the corner, but it will go out.
And it'll be the 5th corner of the game for the Spartans already here in this first half. But something that Loyola has done really well is throw their bodies in the ways of these crosses. We see back-to-back cross attempts from Michigan State being blocked out of bounds as Rogers will get a do-over on the first corner.
Bell bringing it back around. And it will bounce off of Beam, it looks like.
Yet again, another blocked cross from Loyola.
Over to Kruer. And it will go out of bounds. Thrown back in by Michigan State. Some back and forth right there. Looking to regain control, but Loyola's defenders are all over the place.
And Michigan State having vast majority of the possession down here and their offensive third for the past 4 minutes, and really putting pressure on this Loyola defense.
Lucky and Petrosky putting in the work over on that corner. Back once again towards Belay.
An excellent cross into the box. Caleb Briggs had the opportunity to try and give the Spartans the go-ahead goal. Maybe a little too rushed, but an excellent cross here. Remains on sides and just sends it a little wide of the net, but excellent opportunity from Caleb Briggs and an excellent cross from Grace Jackson on the other side of things. As we have a Rambler down, I believe that is Mia Lanny.
This isn't something you want to see. Looks like head coach is out there.
I believe we're going to see Sarah Collins come in for Mia Lanny here. But right before the end of half, this is when things typically tend to happen. That's a lot of pressure from Michigan State and Loyola's defensive end. It's going to get you tired, and that's when the injuries typically come to happen and the mistakes. But so far, Loyola making sure not to make those mistakes. As good to see Mia Lanny up and walking away. Played 3 years at ASU. Now a Rambler. Played 68 minutes in the loss against Iowa, 76 minutes in the win over Central Michigan. Big component here for the team, as the grad student played the third most minutes out of any Loyola player last year during that season. So it's going to be a tough loss for them.
It's always a good sign, though, when you're able to see them walk off. Deerdorf sends it down. There is a whistle.
The ruled a foul on Emily Rossi.
1 minute to go here in this first half of the game. Still tied at 0-0 between the two teams. Sent up, received, battling for control here. It will go out to be thrown back in by a Rambler. That will be Beam, it looks like. In these final seconds of the first half, will go out. Still scoreless between the two teams. For the Ramblers. See if they can keep it going in this second half. She takes the kick. Pushed out already. Down towards the Ramblers' goal. Sargent taking control, heavy pressure there, however. And it will go out. See, Sargent and Sudcamp were battling it out there, heading down into this half of the field.
Yeah, that's an excellent move there by Emerson Sargent to leave her man in the dust there, but runs into a no-nonsense clearance by Mary Fornelli. See a corner be taken by Rennie Watson.
It's up in the air. There will be a whistle, I believe possibly a foul on that.
There will be a foul heading the way of Chicago. You see just right there. Knocking down Chloe Klein is LJ Piercy. The 8th foul of the game so far for the Spartans. 7 heading the way of Loyola.
Schmidt sends it into the middle. It's received there by Roberts. Bell takes control, sends it over. Moving up the line, sent down. No Spartans down there to receive it. It'll go to Deerdorf, kicked back over to Beam. Back to Deerdorf, who will boot it down past the center line. That was to Klein, but it will go out. Roberts will take the throw in here. Spartans right on the attack as it comes in. There will be a foul there.
It'll be Emerson Sargent, the one drawing the fouls. We see right here trying to come across. Hands get extended there by Abby Sudcamp. That'll be a free kick for the Spartans to bring back on all of their starters who started the first half, trying to find that goal to go ahead.
Running along that line, bringing it more in towards the goal. Down the center. Sent out by Beam.
A little bit of miscommunication there by Loyola in the box, and Beam doesn't want any part of it. Going to send it to the sidelines for a throw for the Spartans.
Received by Bell. Sent over to Rogers. It'll go out again. Does appear it goes out off of a Rambler there. Watson. Pressured by Klein. Sends it in. Najira. Booted out. And it will go out once again.
Excellent opportunity right here. Rennie Watson fits it through multiple Ramblers, and Bella Najera just too lightly hit on that one. It's an easy clearance for Addie Sumkamp.
Will go just on the line, staying in. Back to Henning. Henning's looking where to send it. Sends it over. Sent back. Belli. Belli sends it across. Looks like Maroney is back in from the beginning of the first. Sends it up. Up once again. Bell looking to get it, but it goes out. Thrown back in by Watson. Bell looking for it once again. It is Sent back down into the Spartan zone. Over to George. George looking to send it up. Deerdorf will take control.
Okay, George done an excellent job all game long, looking for these through balls and long balls and crosses into the boxes. The Spartans have really made use of their fullbacks here in this formation.
There will be a foul on that, it looks like.
Looks like it will be on Rennie Watson as LJ Pierce. And I believe that is Chloe Klein go up for the ball, and Watson comes up from behind and kind of just knocks over the pile there. Will be a free kick for Loyola, as it looks like they're setting up to try and send this one into the box. Maybe get a good opportunity here on net.
Quickly grabbed by Henning. She looks to, sends it over. Sent up. Watson. Sends it back. Over once again. Up it goes to Watson. Klein is there, unable to block it as Watson sends it up. Will be grabbed by Deerdorf.
See Michigan State now really trying to send these deep through balls in. Potentially getting a little frustrated at the lack of being able to get past this Loyola defense.
You see Beam there on the attack, trying to block it. Spartans fighting to keep control despite this Rambler defense. Watson fighting to keep it in. Down she goes, Klein sends it out. Received over to Najira. Najira to Watson. Fighting once again despite pressure from Roberts. Back to Najira. Najira rolls it over. Back to Najira. Sends it in. It's received, it's taken away. Gained back. Sent back. Over to Belli. Belli down. Over there, trying to set something up. Loyola is not making things easy here. Over to Briggs, fought away by Beam, and it will go out.
And great defense all around there from Loyola, really extinguishing that opportunity that Michigan State had, as some pretty constant pressure, but this high line from Michigan State trying to keep this ball as deep in as they can. They've moved to really only having Samantha Maroney playing back, as we saw up there. Julia Belli really joining that attack. But now with this throw in, she'll move back to that back line.
Sent in by George. Control is taken. Back up to George. She's bringing it down. Sends it over to Sargent. Sargent weaves through. Kicks it over. And it will go just over the net there. Just a little too much power coming in on that kick.
Oh, and she's going to want that one back. It's an excellent touch from Emerson Sargent to get the nutmeg. Sends it one all the way across, and there's just two leaned back on it. Is LJ Piercy, the one lone non-starter out here for Michigan State, as everyone else came on to start this game, as she's seen her first bit of action since the start of the second half. And just two leaned back on that one, since that one clear over the net. No worries at all for Allison Deerdorf.
Sargent coming down, taking charge. A little too much power, no one there to stop it. It will go out on the Spartans.
Everson Sargent again showing off another excellent touch here with almost like a scorpion touch right over the head of Olivia Beam, and Everson Sargent showing off right now. Renee Watson yet again will be the corner taker with her dominant left foot.
Once again battling. The Ramblers have really turned things up on the defense.
A nice little give and go between Briggs and Piercy. That'll see the Ramblers kick this one out for another corner. This will be the Spartans' 8th corner of the game, being taken by Faith George. See, the Spartans have 8 corner kicks. Loyola only with 2.
Watson sends it back. Over to Maroney. Maroney up to Sargent. Battling here with Beam. A whistle will be blown.
Take a look at that corner again. Excellent job punching it away was Deerdorf, really using her extension, and Beam getting a little too aggressive and too handsy on Sargent.
Out and over the goal once again.
There was an opportunity from Kaylee McPherson, but it goes off of a Loyola player, so it will be yet another corner kick for Michigan State, their 9th one, but the Spartans currently sitting with 11 shots there. That one will be their 12th, and still only 1 shot on target that Allison Deerdorf has had to make a save on.
Goes far. Battle to keep it in. Heads back. Control taken by a Rambler. George. Klein is charging down with it. Knocked away. But that won't be the end of it.
I think that was excellent refereeing there by Nicole Green. She saw the clear, obvious foul on the Spartans, decided to play advantage, letting Chloe Klein continue to make headway towards the net, but the Spartans do play good defense, and I believe now we'll go ahead and see a card. You see right there the play on Faith George, and she will receive a yellow card for that one.
See Beam here setting up to throw that ball back in. Beam has been huge for the Ramblers in terms of really putting that attack on. Keeping them away from the goal once they're able to get in the zone.
Play being stopped momentarily for Michigan State to bring on Mackenzie Kruer.
It's received and immediately gone back out off of a Spartan. Beam moves down the line, throws it back in, received by a Spartan once again. Henning getting that off of Lanny's kick. Lanny did go out injured in the first half. Good to see her back in for the Ramblers.
Yeah, the 5th-year senior coming back on after being taken off from an injury in at the end of the first half, and tries to send a cross into the box. Doesn't really trouble Noelle Henning.
Maroney over to George. George up to Najira. Najira up to Sargent, back to Najira. A battle here. Sargent. Sent over. And up. Deerdorf lets it go out.
Only 30 minutes left to play here in the second half, and Michigan State still has yet to find a way to funnel more shots on net here. 12 shots so far in the game. Again, only one has found the target. 0 have found the back of the net so far.
Najira there taking control. Saw Najira sent that one to Piercy. It's out. And it looks like we may have a substitution here.
See Ella Jans come back on. Bella Najira is going to head off now for the first time this game and get a rest for this team's star midfielder.
Over to George. George up, looking for Jans. Jans has it, keeping it in narrowly. Sends it back. Over. Back. Over once again. Lucky sent it to Bell there. You can see Bell coming through with it. Attempts to send it to Briggs. Misses the mark just barely, and the Ramblers take control. Going down the line. Back to Henning. Henning will use this opportunity to set things up. Back to Henning. Henning looking for Maroney. He has these three kind of move things around. The Ramblers closing in. That was Beam there that took control over to Fleming. That will go up and out from Lanny. It'll be a Spartan throw in. George is gonna take it. Maroney. Kruer. Looks and sends it to Maroney. Fleming coming in. Fleming and Schaefer there in front of those two, trying to apply some pressure. Keeping it very controlled here. Back over to Maroney. Fleming once again coming in. Sent up to George. She takes off, Beam is there in the way. She sends it over. And it will go just wide and out.
And just a little too delayed on that back post coming in on that Faith George. She's able to beat her man and Olivia Beam and sends it all the way across. And I believe that's Emerson Sargent, who's just a little slowed down, a little delayed to get there, but could have had a tap and then gave the Spartans the lead.
Up by Deerdorf, received. Fighting to keep it in. Over to Jans. Up to Sargent. George. George, and knocked back. Beam is chasing after it. It will go out.
And some excellent give and go play there from the Spartans. And again, Loyola continuing to block shot after shot after shot, really making Allison Deerdorf's life really easily.
George over to Jans. Jans sends it across to Piercy. Sent back over. Bell looks for it. Up. Jans. And it is just barely wide.
And Ella Jans, who subbed on here just moments ago, already having an opportunity at the net. Great header, just a little bit wide left. Tries to send it back the way Allison Deerdorf came. It's going to be hard for her to head back that direction, but just a little bit wide, and the game will remain deadlocked at 0.
Over the center line, back into the Spartan zone. Back to Henning. Henning looks, sends it over to Kruer. Kruer sends it up. It's Piercy battling to send it up. Over to Bell. Kicked back. Over the head of Maroney. Maroney comes back around for it. George looks for Briggs. Briggs has it, and she's moving towards the goal. Heavy pressure by Beam. She sends it over, and it will be kicked out.
That's a really good job there by Beam to stay with Kayla Briggs, who originally beat her with her move. Was able to track her down, forces an errant pass, and going to be able to clear the pressure.
Beam sends it over, and it's kicked out by Deerdorf. You can see Bell over there going to pick up the ball. It looks like she'll take it.
It looks like we'll see Bella Najera come right back on. Jeff Hosler just giving her a moment to go ahead and collect some water.
George taking it, sent to Bell, back to George. Bell looking for an opportunity, comes in front, sends it over. Back over to George. Sargent and George playing a little back and forth there. Sargent coming around and just off the side of the net.
That all starts off with an amazing Travella-like cross from Kennedy Bell into the box. It's going to be cleared by Loyola, and then Emerson Sargent tries to catch Allison Deerdorf cheating there on the short side post. But Deerdorf stays nice and locked to the post, and she sends it wide of the net, and it will be a goal kick.
Sent up by Beam off the foot of a Spartan. Received there, sent over. Hand up, Sargent stops it. Najera, Sargent up to Lucky. Lucky sends it over. Up in the air between Bell and Briggs. Bell has it. Briggs has it. Over to Bell. Battling there. Ramblers looking for a foul. Will be a Spartan corner kick, though, it appears.
An excellent job here defensively by Mia Lanny. Again in the game, tries to shield it from Kennedy Bell to try and get that goal kick, but it does go off of her back heel there, as that was great pressure from Kennedy Bell.
Off of Deerdorf's hands. It's up in the air. The ball is still in motion. A whistle will be blown.
And it looks like they will go to VAR here, I believe, to check for a penalty. But a great cross in by Najir. Good save by Deerdorf. And then the grabbing of the legs of Emerson Sargent, I believe, is what we'll be looking at here. Gets the ball and then brings the feet up. I think that will be, I think that could be a penalty in favor of the Spartans as she launches out with her hands, able to smack it away, but raises her foot as Emerson Sargent tries to go around her, and that's what trips her up. And if that is found to be the case, then it would be a penalty in favor of the Spartans. See if we can't get another look at that, but this could be a huge opportunity for Michigan State to come through and finally break this dead knot. The last time these two teams played back in 2024, the game winner did come with only 5 minutes remaining for the Spartans to win 1-0, so still plenty of time. Anything could happen, but I'm sure Jeff Hosler and his team are hoping that's going to happen right now in favor of a penalty kick. They see great save on the Caleb Briggs chance, dives out, gets the ball, but the foot comes back up. and catches Emerson Sargent in the shins. That should be clean there, but it's the extra foot right there on that right foot that comes up. And I believe that is what brings down Emerson Sargent. It'll be interesting to see what the call will be. The call on the field was no penalty, so it would have to be evidence, overwhelming evidence, to overturn this on a VAR review.
See Deerdorf there walking back towards the goal.
Hasn't been tested too much tonight. Just made her second save on that Kayla Briggs opportunity. Really great save at that, but I'm sure she would much rather have controlled that rebound. Referee's taking quite a bit of long time to look at this one. Is Nicole Green. Take one more look here at this above angle. It's a bit of the scorpion legs up in the air that do it, but they could rule that her hands are what trips her there. And I do believe that that would be clean, as she is going for the ball and she makes contact with the ball first with both of her hands. But she does scorpion with both of her legs up, and that could be what took down Emerson Sargent. As it looks like we're going to have a decision here from Nicole Green. And it'll be ruled no pen, as I don't believe that they know whether it was the dive out with her hands that tripped up Emerson Sargent, which would have been clean, granted that she did make contact with the ball first going forward, and you cannot penalize a goalie on an attempt that she gets the ball first. But it was her feet coming up at the end when Emerson Sargent was trying to go around her. That was in question, but it seems that they ruled that her hands are what brought down Sargent. And Loyola will catch a break here. We see wide eyes from Nicole Green. I believe telling Allison Deerdorf how close that was to being a pin. And that maybe next time she needs to be a little bit more careful.
Sent up by Deerdorf. Back into the Spartan zone. Lucky kicks it up. Tries to turn things around down there, unable to.
Great clearance there from Maroney. The Spartan D-line has not been tested too much. A lot of offensive activities for Michigan State, but good challenge nonetheless.
Caught very quickly there by Henning. Looking around, making her decision, rolls it over. Over to Kruer. It's being sent up that side. Ramblers are not going easy. That was Chloe Klein up in there. Kruer over to Maroney. Maroney up to George. George looking back to Maroney. It's Fleming coming in there, trying to apply that pressure. Henning up to Kruer. Kruer sends it up once again. It's coming back, trying to keep it in. It's thrown back in. Kruer over to Maroney. Back to Kruer. Sent up. Battle there. Fleming and Najera. Beam. Beam sends it over. She was looking for Catherine Klein. It went past Catherine Klein. Back to Beam. Bell takes control. Gets tripped up there a little bit. Deerdorf keeps things shut down there for the Ramblers.
He had a great job defensively all around by Loyola. Kennedy Bell, a little weak on that through ball towards Sargent, but a great job by Allison Deerdorf to see her opportunity, sees Ella Jans coming in to try and clean up that mess, and she's just dive on it, no nonsense. Doesn't allow a rebound this time. But again, it continues to be that last final bit of composure in the offensive third for the Spartans that continues to come back and bite them, and the reason why this game is still deadlocked at 0.
There's a Spartan down on the field.
It does look like it's Samantha Maroney. This would be a big loss for Michigan State if she were to go down. They do have Julia Belli currently taking a break that they can go back to, but Belli played the majority of the first half. So now they're putting Maroney into her spot. Still a little slow to get up here. And it looks like they will move for a substitution as the stadium lights go off.
It is very dark out. Thank goodness for night vision on that goal cam.
Able to see just a little bit here as completely pitch black outside, as fans are now beginning to wave flashlights in the stands to help everybody see. What is going on here? As you see now, the fans all waving their phone flashlights. Technology is a great thing. I'll go ahead and put mine up as well.
We might as well join them. The scoreboard is still actively lit, but that's about the only light outside of these phone flashlights in the stadium right now.
See the light from the scoreboard. You see the lights back there at Sekia Stadium, the softball field, still on under the bleachers. Cam 4, hello. Still got plenty of light up here in the press box, which is great. Scared of the dark.
Now, I can't say that I can think of any time that this has happened before.
I can't say so either. I mean, not too sure what the plan is or what really is going on, but from up here in the press box, it is completely pitch black on the field. Cannot see a thing.
It doesn't help that it's cloudy, so no moonlight either.
Oh! And they said, let there be light. We're back.
Back in business here at DeMartin Field. Temporary difficulties. Luckily, a very short break to figure that out. Not sure if we'll ever know what exactly happened.
Quite the mystery there, but gave the teams a little bit of time to catch their breath, get in there. Maybe Jeff Hosler had some words to say to his team to maybe inspire this final thirds push into the goal, but we will see Belli come back on for Maroney to see here on the short part of your screen down there in the bottom right.
Over to Kruer, Kruer to Belli. Belli back to Kruer. Over to Lucky. Lucky up the line. Lucky to Rogers. Ramblers going hard there.
And wow, was that pretty special there from Mackenzie Rogers. Not too sure how she didn't lose that ball and managed to stay with Spartan possession there. As you can see why she was ranked the #1 player in the Midwest coming out of high school, Mackenzie Rogers.
Belli over to Lucky. Lucky looking for Rogers. Just to the left. Najera. Up to Faith George. Trying to keep it in. It'll go out.
Faith George will deliver the second nutmeg of the game for the Spartans, as taking advantage of these Loyola players having their legs spread out wide, trying to take up a lot of these passing lanes, trying not to get beat with speed around the outside.
That'll be another whistle there.
Will be ruled a foul, potentially on Caleb Briggs here. And will be a free kick be taken by Allison Deerdorf.
Deerdorf lining up. Boots it. Received. Goes up from Beam. Brought back down. George sends it up to Bell. Beam's gaining on Bell, but Bell is still ahead. It'll go out.
Excellent defending there by Sarah Collins. As we'll take a look at the upcoming schedule here for the Ramblers, as their next competition will be back in Chicago against Illinois State before going on the road for yet another Big Ten team at Northwestern that will also be on Big Ten Plus. Make sure to check that out before heading back home and facing off against DePaul.
Some pretty fierce competition early in the schedule for Loyola Chicago. That will go out off the side of the net once again. Deerdorf with the ball.
Loyola really trying to make sure that they get as much tough competition in as they can before conference play starts. And that could just be a testament to Coach John Sandoval, really trying to make sure his players are ready for that A10 competition.
Roberts there fighting. Up to Chloe Klein. Klein pushes it past Rogers. Kept in.
The potential for a card here, I think it will be. As you can see, Nicole Green pull out the card, but just a late bad tackle there from Loyola. And I think that could be fatigue setting in here. The referee, Nicole Green, will make sure to jot that down and go ahead and book Emily Roberts on a yellow card. Second yellow handed out of this game, as Faith George for MSU is also on a yellow.
You can see Sargent there over with Roberts in that right side of that frame. Things get going again. Kruer to Watson. Watson to Kruer. Kruer looking, sends it to George. Not George, Lucky. Najera. Did it back and forth off of the Ramblers. Up in the air. Lots of movement. George has it now. Back to Rogers. Kruer there, up and over.
Way over the trees and out of here. You can touch them all, Kruer. But excellent defense by Loyola there, as we see again the shot from Kruer trying to put that one back into the box. But excellent defense from Loyola, as Rogers had an excellent opportunity to get a shot put on net, making sure to get that away from danger.
Lucky there. Sends it up into the air and out.
Loyola, another one of these long throw opportunities.
looking to keep it in. She sends it over. Beam catching up. Beam tries to send it down to Lanny, but was unable to keep it in. Spartans will throw it back in. Lucky. Sent over to Watson. Looking to keep things moving up the line. George to Bell. Bell looking to get around Beam here. Beam takes it, sends it out. It's going to be thrown in. Lucky takes it, passes it over to George. George finds Bell. Off of Beam once again. Thrown back in. Over to Bell.
And Kennedy Bell will be found offsides as this back line for Loyola pushed up. So it will be a free kick in favor of the Ramblers, which can't really get anything going. To find a goal here is the Spartans as they're slowly running out of time. 11 and a half minutes remaining in this game, still scoreless.
Deerdorf sends it down. Up.
Will be a foul on Chloe Klein.
Kruger to Watson. Watson looking, sends it up. McPherson to Lucky. Over to George. Just out. Rogers fighting to get it back. That was Watson actually. Over to Lucky. Lucky over to Kruger. Kruger looking for an opportunity here. Over to Sargent. Sargent sends it up. Nobody is there. Chloe Klein there. Klein boots it down. Knocked out of the air by Watson. Watson looking once again. Back to Watson. Up. It will just roll out there. Briggs is going to take that throw in. Sends it to Watson. Chloe Klein is there applying that pressure. You see Schaefer coming over to join. Briggs rushing the goal. Deerdorf is there and on it.
Another opportunity here. Caleb Briggs tries to send it across, but it'll be no problem for Allison Deerdorf to go ahead and interrupt that.
Kruger there, sending it back to Henning.
Noel Henning hasn't been busy at all as Loyola only 2 shots so far in this game, 1 so far on target, 17 in favor of the Spartans. 3 have found their way towards Allison Deerdorf. 0 have made it past her so far with only 9 minutes left to play.
Looking for any opportunities here. Sent over. It's up in the air. Lucky. Sent out. Watson gets it down. Over to Lucky. Lucky looking for George. George facing pressure. Pass back to Lucky. Sends it up. It stays in, but there will be a foul.
Go as Chloe Klein, I believe, is cramping in her legs. But she's right back up and ready to go.
Deerdorf boots it. Kruger sends it up. Rogers going for it. Schaefer's there though, fighting her for it. Here's Beam, sends it down. Kruger to Henning. Henning back to Kruger. Over to Watson. You can see Fleming there trying to put that pressure on. Back over to Kruger. Fleming following. Lucky. Lucky sends it up. George is right there. Lonnie not far behind. A collision. Over to Bell. Bell to Lucky. Lucky, Najera. And it's a goal! Kayla Briggs with the first goal of the game, her second of the season.
And finally, Michigan State is able to break through. Kayla Briggs, you can see the emotion in her face as the frustration is lifted. It was a great job baiting Emily Roberts to come up, fakes the shot, takes a touch to the side, and goes back short side against Deerdorf, as that clearance there from Chloe Klein just not good enough. And again, Deerdorf moving from right to left, firing it back to her right side. Too difficult for her to get back there too. And it's the player who we highlighted in the open, Kayla Briggs, finally comes through and notches potentially another game-winning goal. It would be her second on the season in just 2 games so far. But the number 5 team in the nation has found their way in front. It's 1-0.
Looking to keep that momentum going. Lucky to Kruger. Kruger to Watson. Watson moving up, sends it over. Up to George. Back to Lucky. To Bell. Heavy pressure there by Schaefer. Kruger once again over to Watson. Watson's looking. Back to Kruger. Up to Lucky. Back to Kruger. You see Fleming and Schaefer charging in there. Watson moving up. Passes. McPherson over to Bell. Bell. It's just knocked out.
And a great save there from Allison Deerdorf as Kennedy Bell was loosened in on goal. The through ball took her a little bit too far to the right. Not much of an angle to shoot at here, but she does get it around Beam, and they wanted a handball as it came off the foot of Beam and into her hand. But I believe the ball was already fully out of bounds at that time. But a great job there from Allison Deerdorf to make this, to keep this a 1-0 game rather. But being down a goal, Loyola's gonna need to come find a way to score, as it does look like they're going to take a look to see if it hit her hand before it went out of bounds. If so, it would be a penalty as her hand wasn't in a natural position. I believe that's what Nicole Green is explaining to the Michigan State bench.
I believe this is now our 3rd video review of the game.
It would be, and this could be another huge opportunity for Michigan State. Jump out in front 2-0 with 5.5 minutes left. I see right there, kicks it right up and into her offhand. Saw a great look here from camera 4. As I think that's gonna be a penalty, as that looks pretty in bounds when it hits her hand. And you see all the Spartans immediately calling it out. You see even Kayla Briggs all the way back there at the Loyola bench saw it. See, nice and uptight here. As hits that hand right behind her head. And right there, that ball looks in bounds. And if there was a penalty, it could be another opportunity for Kayla Briggs to make it a third goal of the season, as she's taken a pair of penalties for the Spartans last season, converted both of them pretty easily, as we're going to come out here with a decision from Nicole Green. And it's ruled no handball. So no penalty for the Spartans. Jeff Hosler didn't like the call. And there could be question marks to it, as it did look like it should have been a penalty, but regardless, Michigan State still leads and will get a corner from the situation.
13th corner of the game. Up in the air. Caught by Deerdorf. Looking to send it up and out. And she does. Schaefer running there to get it. Schaefer against Briggs. Sends it up. Fierce competition. Another whistle.
It will be a foul going against Loyola. And something that we're seeing here a little bit more and expect to see for the rest of this game is this Loyola team trying to play more offensive. That is their 12th foul, and now these fouls are going to become more and more crucial. It's going to allow the Spartans to take their time and really possess the ball. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the Spartans' upcoming schedule as they go on the road to face the current number 7 team in North Carolina before coming back home to host Eastern Michigan and Colorado, another ranked opponent. As Michigan State there in their next upcoming games will face 3 currently ranked opponents. It will also take on Notre Dame and USC coming right after that Colorado game.
Out. Deerdorf sets up. That was Chloe Klein there looking to get ahead of it. Fleming now with control of the ball, sends it up. Looking for a rambler, but finds Briggs instead, and Briggs sends it out.
Briggs tried to plead her case that one went off of Emily Roberts, the ref not buying it. I see the pace of play really speeding up here from Loyola again, as they need to find that equalizer. Only 4 minutes remaining, but on the other side of things, this could open up a counterattack for the Spartans to really put this thing away.
Up and out again.
As Loyola has stayed pretty defensive throughout the majority of this game, now sending everyone but their 2 center backs up into the box.
Really pushing the attack there. Narrowly avoided a goal there. Bell is charging, but Schaefer takes it. Schaefer to Beam. Beam looking. Beam sends it up. No one is there. It's going to roll out and be in favor of the Spartans.
And a great job there from the Michigan State defense, I believe, saving a goal. As I'm not too sure if Noelle Henning would have been able to get to this ball, but it's a great job there by McPherson to run back there and take this one out, as we're going to see now subbing into the game, Sophia Piotrowski.
Piotrowski coming in for Bell. Does look like Bell has taken a seat just behind the bench over there. She did leave last game injured.
To do that substitution to get the more defensive presence of Piotrowski versus Bell, as they are leading. Will need to protect the lead. Kennedy Bell to this point was only one of 2 Spartans who had played every minute so far. Now the only one that remains is Kayla Briggs.
Fighting to keep it in despite immense pressure from Roberts there. Sending it up. Deerdorf looked to catch it. Unable to.
I think this ball potentially took an awkward bounce up on Deerdorf, and it's going to go off of her leg and out of bounds, so it will be a corner for the Spartans. Now what they want is not the best pass to your goalie. She can't touch it with her hands, given that it was passed to her from her own teammate. That would result in a penalty. So now it will result in a Spartan corner that they look to take short.
A lot of battling there, and it goes right back out again. This time it will be in favor of the Ramblers.
Caleb Briggs and Faith George tried to waste as much time as they could, tried to backheel it off of a Rambler out of bounds to regain possession and a throw in. But the Ramblers were able to dodge it, and it went out of bounds. Looks like we'll do this goal kick over again as we were waiting on subs to come through. And the ball was not yet whistled back into play, so we'll go ahead and do it again.
That'll be a whistle, a foul on the Spartans. Catherine Klein will be taking this one, it appears. Sent into the air. Sargent looked to bring it down there. Another whistle.
It will be a foul against Loyola, so Spartans will be able to get a free kick, and you can bet that they're going to go ahead and waste some time here with only a minute remaining.
You can see Henning setting things up. Loyola pushing back. Henning sends it up. Received. It's going to roll right back out. Under 40 seconds remaining in today's game here at DeMartin Stadium. Thrown in. Caught bouncing around. That'll be another foul there. Under 20 seconds to go here at DeMartin Stadium with the Spartans with 1 point.
Yeah, Catherine Klein trying to stop Emerson Sargent from being able to get through there and make it a 2-0 game. But this should do it.
A kick over the goal, and that will be it here today at DeMartin Field. The Michigan State Spartans